At the roof of the world, silence is the only survivor. Here in the Karakoram, the frost preserves secrets that were never meant to.
7 of us set out, strong, hopeful. Now I am the only witness to the mountain's hunger.
They were my friends, I can...
The destination was a nameless peak, a jagged tooth of rock and ice so remote it barely exists on any modern navigational chart.
The ascent began with a smile. We felt invincible, conquering the slopes under a clear sky, unaware of the shadow trailing behind.
Then came the final transmission. A sound that defied logic, a chorus of pure terror captured.
The rescue mission was a desperate gamble. Through the blinding fog, they searched for signs of life in a frozen wasteland that wanted to...
What they found at Camp 4 was a nightmare. The tents, designed to withstand hurricane force winds, had been shredded like fragiles. But the damage was wrong. The slashes came from within. They weren't trying to keep something out, they were desperate to get away.
200 meters from the camp, the first body appeared. A solitary figure in the vast white, lying still in an impossible posture.
The forensic analysis revealed a chilling pattern. Every victim was found in a defensive crouch, as if shielding themselves from an invisible...
The forensic reports only deepen the mystery. The cause of death for every climber was listed as massive internal trauma, yet their skin remained entirely
It was as if their bones shattered under an immense focused pressure that bypassed the flesh entirely. A physiological impossibility that defies every known medical...
Even stranger was the discarded gear. In 30 below temperatures, they had stripped off their boots and heavy parkas, running barefoot into the lethal freezing.
Buried beneath a meter of fresh snow, a single camera remained. A silent, frozen witness to their final moments, its lens cracked by a force no one can explain.
The last frame captured a shadow. Not a man, not a beast, but something that shouldn't exist in our world, watching from the heights.
Meteorological records from that night reveal a terrifying anomaly. In less than an hour, the temperature plummeted by 30 degrees.
Even for seasoned investigators, the sheer volume of contradictions is overwhelming. Every piece of evidence seems to point toward an event that defies conventional logic and mountain survival protocols.
The parallels to the 1959 Dyatlov Pass incident are impossible to ignore. The same shredded tents, the same missing gear, and the same inexplicable internal injuries found on the...
Some researchers suggest the Karakoram range hides a zone of silence. Here, magnetic anomalies are said to scramble compasses and perhaps even the human mind, leading to fatal...
Higher up the ridge, searchers found a second site. Here, oxygen tanks, ice axes and rations were laid out in a perfect geometric circle. It wasn't a camp, it was...
Then came the most chilling discovery. When technicians scanned the recovered clothing, the Geiger counters screamed.
High levels of localized radiation were embedded in the very fibers of their parts.
Suggests they weren't alone. A dark, elongated shape moves with impossible speed across the rocks, watching the camp from the shadows.
One set of tracks led away from the tents, ascending a vertical slope no human could climb.
Science offers a different horror, infrasound. The wind howling through specific rock formations can create low frequency waves.
In controlled tests, a sense of mountain madness, a crushing weight on the chest, and the absolute...
But the official reports remain heavily redacted. Files that should contain
Witnesses at base camp reported seeing sleek, silent aircraft patrolling the heights. High-altitude drones, far more advanced than anything in the public domain, watching the recovery efforts from the
The local Balti people tell a different story. They speak of the ice walkers.
On the lower slope suggests a predator of unknown origin. Deep, vertical gouges in the frozen timber, carved with a force that shattered the...
Yet the simplest explanation may be the most tragic. In the final stages of hypothermia, the brain malfunctions, convincing the victim they are burning up, leading them to strip and...
The skin was flawless, no bruising, no cuts, yet beneath the surface their bones were shattered as if struck by a massive invisible hammer. This wasn't just...
I felt him, just behind my shoulder. A presence in the frost. I turned, but the ridge was empty, just the wind and the feeling of being...
The tea is cold. Like the mountain, I can still see them. Standing there in the white. They never left. They're still waiting for me to come.
Witnesses at base camp reported more than just stars. Luminous orbs, dancing in patterns no aircraft could mimic, pulsed above the peaks the night the screams began.
Navigation became impossible. The Earth's heartbeat seemed to falter. Compasses spun wildly, caught in a local magnetic storm that defied every known law of geology.
Digital enhancement stripped away the grain. There, in the shadow of the granite spire, a face emerged. Not human.
Scale markers don't lie. The figure captured in the final frame stood nearly 9 feet tall.
far too large for any man, especially one surviving without...
Local legends speak of the Ghost Climber, an ancient entity that claims those who venture too high. In 1975, a similar tragedy left investigators with more...
The final entry in the expedition log was barely legible. A frantic scrawl across the page written in the dark. A warning that arrived too late.
We were happy then. Elias was laughing. We all were. It feels like another life. A life that ended the moment we stepped onto that bridge.
High above the clouds, a simple cairn marks the spot. A silent sentinel in a land that does not forgive.
The inquiry was closed without a single definitive answer. The files were shelved, buried under the weight of bureaucracy and the sheer impossibility of the evidence.
The most harrowing detail was kept from the public. The victims were found intact, yet their eyes and tongues had been surgically removed. No footprints, no
Air, I can't. The air is gone. Everything is turning gray. I see shapes in the mist. Are they coming for me? Is this the end of it?
As the brain starves for oxygen, reality fractures. The mountain becomes a kaleidoscope of terror, where the laws of physics dissolve into a neon nightmare of the mind.
In the absolute void of the high altitude, the mind fractures. You hear things that aren't there, or perhaps you hear things that finally are. Listen close.
I can't see the path, but I feel it. It's calling me further into the white. Don't follow me, Sarah. Stay where you are.
Total sensory deprivation. No sky, no earth, only the crushing weight of the silence and the cold. This is where the self simply dissolves into the touch of the Karakoram winter. The truth is lost forever.
It's right behind me. I can't breathe. The snow is too deep. Help me. Someone please help. It is right there.
From infrasound madness to military secrets, the theories remain as fractured as the ice. But nature often hides the most terrifying and grounded truth.
The evidence is before you. A tragedy born of science or a nightmare from the shadows? What do you believe happened on Peak 8000? Tell us your...
Cast your vote now. Was it an alien encounter, a botched military operation, or simply the raw, unbridled fury of the natural world? We want...
But some secrets lie deeper than the snow. In the lightless trenches beneath the ice, something else is waiting to be found. A new mystery.
Remain silent, indifferent to the lives lost in their shadows. The sun sets on Peak 8000, leaving only questions behind in the cold.
Yellow tent, a shredded dream. The expedition is over, but the mountain never forgets. It keeps its trophies buried deep beneath the silent, drifting snow.
If you seek the truth behind the world's greatest mysteries, subscribe and join our community. The journey into the unknown has only just begun. Join us.
For more enigmas, watch our investigation into the Dyatlov Pass or dive into the strange anomalies of the deep ocean. The choice is yours. Click now.
Sleep now, Karakoram. The wind carries the echoes of the lost until the next soul dares to climb into the dark. Goodbye for now.
Wait. Look closer at the final frame. That wasn't a claw. It was something manufactured, something not of this earth. The mystery has only...
Thank you for joining us on this investigation into the unknown. If you seek the truth behind the world's most enduring mysteries, ensure you are part of our...
From the shredded remains of their final camp to the inexplicable readings and the figures in the shadows, the evidence defies logic.
Every Corsius report is available in the description below. Draw your own conclusions from the cold, hard facts.
Be conquered. Their final moments stay locked in the ice, unsolved, forever.
Next week, we leave the frozen peaks behind and venture into the suffocating mist of the Blackwood Forest. Join us as we